Hello everyone, and welcome to the YouTube version of my save, the pilgrimage with club number 3, Oldham Athletic. Bear with me a moment while I just get it up on the screen, and we'll get going. We are right at the start of the journey with Oldham. This is our first episode with Oldham Athletic. And the job is quite simple, really. I'll show you the club objectives so that you can see what is expected. You can see they've been on a long-term downward trend. But in terms of the club vision, we're expected to finish in the top half in the coming season. And then work towards becoming an established League 2 team after that. So how we go from finishing in the top half of the National League to becoming an established League 2 team in one season, I'm not sure. So presumably, actually, what they're expecting this time is promotion. Different save, Lenzar. This is the YouTube one. So welcome in, by the way. So we're going to create a tactic with Oldham. Completely new club, so let's do it. They're recommending either wing play, route 1 or fluid counter-attack. Not necessarily. I'm going to start with fluid counter-attack. And they want us to do a 4-2-3-1. So we're going to go with that for now. But what I'm not going to do is a cautious mentality. That's just nonsense. We're not going to do that. We're going to go to balance to start with. And I am going to try the two as defensive midfielders to start with, but we may end up long term moving them forward. So let's go through the squad and see what we've got. This squad is hideously large, by the way. How many of these are actually first teamers and how many of them should be considered youth team, I'm not sure. But I think what we need to do is just look position by position. So we're going to start with goalkeepers. And clearly the best goalkeeper is Matthew Hudson. Even he isn't very good. So goalkeeper is a position we need to strengthen. So we'll put Matthew Hudson in there. If I can actually get it to work. There we go. Brindley Smith. What's your... So he's at Kidsgrove Athletic on loan for the whole of this season. So let's hide away players not at the club. So goalkeeper is clearly a position we need to strengthen. Let's move on to the back four. We'll have a look at the right backs to start with. And Sam Byram is clearly the... in fact, sort by ability, it is Sam Byram that's the best. But not by as big a margin as I originally thought. So let's put Sam in there. Let's then move on to the centre backs. And we're going to go with Haji Manuga and Charlie Raglan. And then we'll move on to left back. And that is going to be Benny Couto, obviously. Now we need to look at defensive midfielders and see whether this actually does make sense or not. As I say, I'm not wedded to using them like this. Doherty and Saville, and actually they both want to play further forward, but George Abbott is good enough to justify a place in the side. So I'm not sure what to do at the moment. What I'm gonna do is move them forward, because clearly they are better higher up the pitch. So we'll move them up. And we're not interested in the roles at this stage. We're only interested in the positions. So, midfielder central. Are they the best two? In fact, they're not. They might be, in fact, because it's not kept it sorted by ability for some reason. So Doherty and Saville are indeed the best midfielders. Moving on to attacking midfield. Start with the one in the middle, and then we'll do the wingers. In fact, Naki Wells, what can you do? I'm not quite sure how we're going to play a 4-2-3-1. I think what I'm more inclined to do is go back to defensive midfielders and sort them by ability. And what we'll actually do is put George Abbott in and drop him back. So we're going to end up playing a variation of a 4-3-3 again, if I can get George Abbott to drop back into defensive midfield. There we go. And now we need to look at the wingers. So we'll move on to attacking midfield, right hand side. We've got Connor Withers and Max Lott, neither of which is particularly inspirational, but Max Lott is the first choice currently, if I can actually get him to appear in the team. There we go. And then on the left hand side, Harry Evers is slightly better. So we're going to put Harry Evers in. And then up front, this will just give us an idea of where we do need to strengthen. So at the moment, Naki Wells is far and away the best striker we've got, and got 14 goals last season. So that's our first 11 sorted. Now we need to arrange them by what they really want to do. So Hudson wants to be a sweeper keeper on defend. He can do that, that's fine. Kuto wants to be a wing back on either defend or support. Let's get him on support. Raglan wants to be a central defender on defend. That's fine. Manuga, same. Byram wants to be a wing back on defend. He can do that. Abbott at the base of midfield wants to be a ball-winning midfielder on defend. He can certainly do that job. Saville is looking to be a ball-winning midfielder on support. So I'm going to go with 2 ball-winning midfielders. And we're going to go with a box-to-box midfielder. And then we move on to Evers on the left-hand side. Click on his role. That will give us the opportunity. He would quite like to be either an inverted winger on support or a winger on support. Doesn't want to be an inside forward, which I normally use. So we'll go we'll go winger on support at the moment. And then we'll look at Lott on the right hand side. And he wants to be... In fact, I don't want him cutting in because Doherty will be getting forward. So it would actually suit more to have the guy on this side as the inverted winger on support. And then him as winger on attack. And then we need these two the other way around. So we need to swap the roles around, I think. Let's do all positions and all sides. And we need... So Max Lott wants to be either a winger on attack or an inverted winger or an inside forward. And Evers, Harry Evers, what do you want to be? Just need to remind myself of what job he wants to actually do. He wants to be either a winger or an inverted winger. So he can be the inverted winger, that's fine. On support is also fine. And then up front, Nahki Wells wants to be a poacher, so let's let him be a poacher. So that's our first team sorted. And now we need to sort the whole thing by... In fact, we have got the whole thing sorted by ability. And everybody up to and including Connor Withers should be coming out, but we're going to have to take Max Lott away and Matthew Hudson is also going to have to come out. So Connor Withers down, but Max Lott out and Matthew Hudson out. So those guys are going to drop into the under 18s. And that leaves our squad looking like that. So that's what we need. Where's my left back gone? It's alright, it's Benny Couto. So we need a left back urgently. We need another defensive midfielder ideally. And we need a left winger. So let's see how much money we've got. We're over the wage budget, so let's move all of that into transfer all of the transfer budget into wage budget, which gives us about £1,000 and almost no transfer budget. So £634 we've got to offer out on wages. I would suggest that means we're exclusively looking at loans, which means we don't need to do it yet. So tactics induction, we've already created the tactics, so we're literally just continuing. Right, let's get through to June. So meeting frequency, never. And I'll attend it, but skip to meeting summary. I'm literally not bothering with meetings. Set pieces, let's get them sorted. So we're going to do a hybrid system. They want to mark no posts. I'd rather mark the near post. And we usually go balanced. So that's what we're going to do. So we want a near post corner. We want to go balanced. And we want in swingers. And then we need to set up a second set piece. So let's do that. Tactics, set pieces, corners. Right. Why can't I change anything? Never mind. Let's skip the day forward and see if that frees it up and allows it to happen. So let's try again. Tactics, set pieces, okay, I'll take control momentarily. Corners, attacking corners. So routine 1 is a near post corner. Want a far post in swinger. And we want to use them both about the same. What about the transitions? Preview options. Right. Okay, I think that's it. So that's all I'm going to do on the corners. Now we need to make sure we know when the players are coming back. And look at that run of form they were in at the end of the season. No wonder their manager lost his job. Just to confirm the way the National League finished for Oldham last season. 15 wins, 15 draws, 16 defeats, 60 points. So they were 18 clear of the drop zone. And 77, so they were 17 away from the playoffs. So they were as close to relegation as they were the playoffs. And this season, we need to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm not even going to bother with the season review because we weren't here and it's going to be a different squad by the time we finished. So we're just going to crack on for the next chunk of time and see if we can put together a team that's fancied to win the league. Squad dynamics is awful. Dressing room atmosphere is okay. Managerial support is pretty much non-existent. So we're going to have to work hard. So there's no promises at the moment, which is a good, safe place to be. Training, I'm going to let my backroom staff just handle all of it. And we'll go meet the media. Generally speaking, I'm not doing media. I'll do this one and I'll do new signing ones. But other than that, I'm not going to bother. How do I feel sat here as the new Oldham manager? I'm looking forward to getting to work. It's a lot to do, but I'm excited. Do I regret leaving Oxford? There were valid reasons for leaving. I'd taken them as far as I could. Right. I'm looking forward to finding the system that suits them best. Am I nervous about taking up such a big step up? Confidence in my ability. Club's ready. Everyone's going to have to work hard, but we can definitely win things. Will I be going back to my old club? No. We're a completely different size of club. I'll need to bring in some players. I'm afraid. Fans are committed and they're as much a part of the team as everyone else. We want to win things. We want to be successful. And we're planning how to make that happen. Training, all about balance. There's potential here. Benny Couto has loads of potential. Naki, I know, is a good player. Club is a little short-staffed. I'll bring some of my staff in over the coming days. Where could we do with strengthening? Goalkeeper for one. Okay. So I'll get into June and then we'll be able to properly start casting the net around, looking for people to come in. Scouting induction, I'm not bothered. Backroom staff can handle everything and we can just move on. I'll obviously read the reports when they come in and make my decisions accordingly. George Chenery, he's listed for loan at the moment and he isn't great. He's in the under 18s, so we know we can let him go, that's fine. We'll accept any loan offer that comes in for him. And as I say, once we get into June, we're then less than a month away from contracts ending, so we can start making offers to anyone who is about to be a free agent. And then we can start shipping out some of the dead wood. There's a lot of it in this squad. So we do need to move on an awful lot of players. So let's just get into June and then we can start that process. As well as, in fact, we might as well have a look at the staff now. What do we still need? We need a head of youth development. We need an assistant manager. So let's do those two first. Staff search, assistant manager. Let's do at least 11 on all three areas and match all three of them. So those are the ones we've got to have a go at. Can we convince any of them to come over? I am thinking Damien Broad might be the right answer. Looks solid and has good discipline as well. So we'll bring Damien Broad in as our assistant manager. Try and get him for 600 a week. 650 is fine. So assistant manager sorted. What was the next one? Head of youth development, wasn't it? Staff search. Head of youth development. And let's sort the attributes for that. Head of youth development, at least 11. Wally Downs, possibly. Wally Downs, I think, is probably a good shout. So let's get him in. 1,100 a week. We can offer him 750. There's no way he's going to take it, so let's do that. We're going to have to walk away from Wally Downs. Lloyd James, let's have a look at you. Head of youth development. So working with youngsters 11, judging ability 12, judging potential 11. So a very, very solid for this level. So absolutely Lloyd James can come in as my head of youth development. And he's accepted that offer. So that is assistant manager and head of youth development sorted. We need a performance analyst as well. So we'll get one of those. In fact, do we have a head performance analyst? We do. So we do need a performance analyst, not a head. So I want a performance analyst. And let's sort that out. So there's only two roles, only two attributes we need to worry about. And there's only one person who meets that, and that is Dean Hughes. So we'll try and get him. Performance analyst. Let's try 400 a week. Let's see if we can get him in. We can. So that's the backroom staff sorted, more or less. Recruitment team. We've got no scouts. So that's what we need. We need 2 scouts. So let's get them sorted. So we need 2, ideally. 2 scouts. We want it to be 3 out of 3, ideally. Just check that it is set to 3 out of 3. It is. So these guys are all suitable for the role. Mental attributes. Judging ability. Right, so we want Nicky Law. Wants to be a scout on 525 quid a week. 475, we might be able to get him. We should get him for that. He's dropped his demands, so I think we will do a deal this time. And we have. So Nicky Law and Lewis Spence is going to be the other one. Hopefully. 350, you can have that with my pleasure. And that's our backroom staff sorted. Hopefully. So now we just need to get into June. And then we can start work on the playing staff. Probably the first thing we need to do is start chopping out some dead wood. And looking to trim the size of the squad, and then we can free up some wage budget to bring in 1 or 2 first teamers. But as I say, most of it is going to be loans, so that won't be able to happen for a while yet. So let's crack on. We're almost into June. Doherty contract is expiring. I want to offer him a deal. We're going to lose him, which is a shame. And I don't want to offer either of the other 2 a deal. So we're going to remove both of them from the committed wage budget by setting them for release. Now let's try Greg Doherty again. No, he's just not interested at all. So at the moment we're going to have to hope no one comes in for him, and that's all we can do. These are all out of contract. Right, Michaela Whedon is a physio. She's all right. She'll do for now. Andy Kiwamya, fitness coach. Pretty good. So we'll take that. Steve Collis, our goalkeeping coach. Very solid indeed. Tristan Jones, fitness coach. He can't really do anything else, so he can stay as that role. Chuck Sacconetto is an under-18s coach. That's fine for that level, so he can stay in his job. So let's give him a contract. 350, he's not going to accept that. So we might end up losing these guys anyway, because we can't compete with the wages. And he's gone. So Akonetto is a goner. Tristan Jones, is he better than Andy Kiwamya? I don't think we need two fitness coaches. Andy Kiwamya, we'll get him for that, I'm sure. We've got him. So now we can release the other fitness coach, Tristan Jones. Alright, Steve Collis, our goalkeeping coach. Did we decide he was alright? Yes, we did. Very much so. So Steve Collis wants $950 a week. We can give him $700. I don't think we'll get him, but we'll keep trying. He wants $900 now. $850. And he's refusing as well now. So Collis is a goner. Let's move on to Daniel Coates, head performance analyst. He's awful. So Daniel Coates we're going to let go. Let's remove him from his role. Claire Swindle, head physio. Pretty good. So she can have a new deal. Why are we only able to offer her a massive pay cut? That doesn't make any sense. We'll come back to her. I will need to crash the talks, but and we have. She's refused. Adam Green. Let's look at you. Physio. Not bad. Not convinced we need Whedon and Green. So let's compare them. So Adam Green's a 13. Michaela Whedon is a 12. So Michaela Whedon we are going to let go. Adam Green then can be offered a deal. 475. They are really chopping the wages down. I don't think we get him this time. But again, we're going to need to crash the contract talks. And we have. And finally, Jamie Sinclair, under 18s physio. That's okay for an under 18. Wants a massive pay rise, isn't getting one, but will take that offer. Okay. So Michaela Whedon, we're going to move on. Because Adam Green is better. So we can actually terminate her deal. No, we're not paying $3,000 in compensation. We'll just let the deals run out. And once they've run out, we'll go through them again and terminate the ones we don't want. So let's continue into June. The medical centre induction we can ignore. And now we should be in a position to start offering some players out and some contracts. I'm not going to risk offering Matthew Hudson out. So the only player from the first team squad I'm going to offer out is Max Lott. And I'm only offering him out on loan, not as a permanent transfer. We'll loan him out. I want him to play regularly, but I'm not asked. In fact, we could try and get some of his wages paid. He's only on £400 a week. So anybody looking to loan him should be able to afford that. And I want him to be at least a regular starter. And I'm not bothered about where he plays because he can do a multitude of jobs. So we'll offer him out and just try and free up a spot in the squad and a bit of wage budget. Right, so Dean Hughes is coming in. Law, so Nicky Law comes in. So we've got both of them added to the backroom staff. Damien Broad also. So that's another member of the squad. Lewis Spence is also now an Oldham member of staff. I'm quite excited. He's a very good assistant manager. Delighted to have him. And now, so Naki Wells is retiring. That's worrying. I want him to play one more year if possible, because he is still my first choice striker. He will consider it. Lloyd James comes in as head of youth development. So Lloyd James, former Southampton, Colchester, Crawley, Leyton Orient, Exeter City, Forest Green, Torquay, Bath City, Taunton player, and Telford under-18s manager, comes in to manage comes in to be our head of youth development. So hopefully he regards that as a step up. And so he's retiring anyway. I tried. So we'll need another striker. But that's okay. At least we know where we stand. And I think he was one of the highest paid players at the club as well. So it should have shaved a chunk off the wage bill. Once he's gone, it will do anyway. So I think he goes today. So Naki Wells has retired. And let's see. So the squad now has 3 strikers, but they're all a bit meh, if I'm honest. I will accept offers for any of them. But first order of business. Right, we now have a decent wage budget available. But I'm still going to be looking to do it with loans to start with. Jonathan McCauley, Josh McNamara, Josh Welland. Jonathan McCauley, that name is familiar to me. I have a feeling I signed him on my other save. So let's ask his agent. He's not interested. Would be interested in a loan move. And they want his wages paid him to 80%. Which we can afford. And they want him to play as a normal goalkeeper. I wonder if they will let him play as a sweeper keeper. No. Try it one more time. No, they're not willing to budge on that. So we'll change once we get Jonathan McCauley in. Because I know that he is the answer. So McCauley offer accepted. And captain wise, let's go all the way to the top. And Aidan Flint should be the captain. Because the current captain has retired. So Aidan Flint will do that job. And then Greg Doherty can be his backup. So we'll confirm that. And that's fine. And I am potentially open to letting anyone leave. So not going to worry too much about grumpy players at this stage. If somebody wants to leave, they're more than welcome to do so. So here we go. And let's see if we can start bringing some talented players into the squad. to replace some of the dross that's here. So transfer wise, Jonathan McCauley is the only deal that's ongoing at the moment. If we could get him in, that would be brilliant. George Honeyman, we'll shortlist him. And in fact, if we need a midfielder, we're going to bring him in. Yeah, we do. So we'll bring him in. And see if he'll take that sort of money. He should do from there. Probably not at this stage. We might have lost him, and we have. So George Honeyman is out of our price bracket. Joe White. Let's talk to his agent. 1100 to 1400 a week. That seems perfectly reasonable. I think he'll be at least a squad player this season. So let's see if he'll take 1100. We'll offer it again. One more time. 1200. Right. We're going to have to offer him the full whack. So Joe White looks like being a cracking signing. Matt Crooks, 32. I'm not going to sign him for that reason. Dan Moss, right back, which we do need. So let's see. In fact, we don't need him. So we'll say not interested. I'm going to do the deals one at a time so that we know where we stand. So I'm not doing any more until the ones we've got are resolved one way or another. Because at the moment we've got two on the go, Jonathan McCauley and Joe White. And that's going to use up all of our wage budget as well. Jonathan McCauley comes in on loan. So we've got him. Ideally, we want, I think, probably 5 loan signings. So we'll do that new signing press conference. I'm delighted to have added real quality to the squad. He's such a good young player. He's a match winner. He's going to make us better in every match, but hopefully in the big ones. We're delighted by Jonathan's arrival. We needed to improve that position. Want him to stay long term, and he's got the quality to succeed. We have to bring in players like him, and we'll make sure he settles very quickly. Okay. So we're moving on. And hopefully we can get the next deal over the line, and then we can start looking at how much money we've got and what we still want. It's only the 11th of June, so we've got plenty of time. Time's not an issue at this stage. So today the plan is going to be that we get through the season and then see what the time is. So I will be going at least until the eve of the first game. Possibly beyond that, we'll see. See what the time is when we get there. And hopefully we can have a squad that is good enough to get us promoted. That's got to be the aim this season. Get into the Football League and look to kick on from there. And really get this career going. As I say, this is the save that's migrated over from YouTube, so it will be available to watch on the YouTube channel tomorrow. And if you're not already subscribed to it, there it is. So there won't be the normal 2 match videos any longer. It will be this style of content, completely unedited. I will just upload it to the YouTube channel, and we'll monitor how that goes for the next couple of months, and then I'll make a decision as to the long-term future of the YouTube channel. The Twitch channel is absolutely safe. That's not going anywhere. So rest assured that the regular evening save on there will continue. David Martin we have signed as a goalkeeping coach. So let me just check actually that my backroom staff are not having any input on recruitment of staff, and that's all down to me. Responsibilities for staff. Right, I'll decide all of that. So the only thing I'm delegating is the youth team talks. And let's just make sure that training is being looked after. And matches, let's make sure that they're not arranging the friendlies. And that I'm not leading the friendlies, which at the moment I was. So that's sorted. And we move on. So let's see if we can get this sign-in sorted. Check in on the budget, and we probably need to shift 1 or 2 players out before we bring anybody else in anyway. I don't think we want to be bringing any more bodies in the building. So David Martin is in. Right, staff. Right, coaching team is now pretty decent. The medical team is not too shabby either. The recruitment team, analysing data is a bit weak, but other than that, we're pretty hot. So I've got to be happy with that. And we can, in fact, we need to get rid of Michaela Whedon. But she'll just go in a couple of weeks' time anyway, so we can just leave that. And then we'll be able to get rid of her without paying anything over and above her wages to the day when her contract expires. Oh, excuse me. Okay. I think I'm just going to put the heater on a moment. Just getting a little bit chilly in here. Okay. And so John McCracken, goalkeeper. If he's available on a free, I might be interested. Make an offer. They want 14 grand a week. We can't get it even close to that. So no chance. So we can totally discard him. And right, Tim Odesina looks a good player. Potential to play in League 2. So, what does he do? He's a centre-back. Don't really need one. But can we afford not to go after him? Ask his agent, see what he thinks. He's willing to consider it. So we'll make him an offer. We'll make him a squad player. So we're offering more than he wants. Try and get him for £1,000 a week. 1,100. 1,200. And we've got a deal. So Timmy Odesina is another one that's coming in. And hopefully we'll add some strength to the back line. I'm not going to bother with the recruitment meeting. But once we get to the end of the month, we will be going through our options and getting rid of anybody who's out of contract that we don't want, and trying again with the ones who've refused our initial offers. Once we've got a little bit more wage budget free. But the one thing we do need to do is, in the development centre, go to the squad, sort by age, the other way, and offer all of those out In fact, it's only really Willoughby that we need to offer out. The rest still have some degree of potential. So Kurt Willoughby I will offer out. And just get his wages off the wage bill more than anything. So if somebody's willing to pay 700 quid. So Joe White, midfielder, is in. So that's one more signing. I'll have a look in a minute at the predicted league table. The players aren't even back yet from their holidays. But we've signed Joe White on a free transfer, so good start. And we need to get him welcomed into the club. Yeah, he's a good League 2 player, so let's get Lundstrom to welcome him in. Job done. Okay. Right. Let's see in a moment. In fact, just before pre-season, we'll have a look at what the squad will look like, and we'll in fact no, I'll wait till the end of the month, and then it's a lot cleaner and easier to deal with. So we will just go all the way through to the end of the month. We've got money in the bank, which is a novelty at this level. Normally you don't, and it's a tough battle to keep the finances in order. But they don't seem too bad. So I wonder if there's been some kind of takeover. So we need to adjust the budget to get Odesina in. So we'll do that, because it's not going to bring the wage budget down by very much. So Timmy Odesina joins. And then, as I say, once we get to the end of the month, we can really start motoring on the transfers. I also need to have a look at the pre-season schedule, so let's do that a minute. So Odesina confirmed. Willoughby, I need you to find a new club. I'll say we can't afford your wages. Right. Be open to leaving. Cool. So we've reached a successful conclusion. So Kurt Willoughby, we definitely want rid of. So we'll offer him out via the transfer room again. Now that he's been told he's not wanted, he might actually get his agent to pull his finger out and earn him a move somewhere. Okay. So we'll keep going. Get to the 1st of July. and then we'll review where we're at. But what we can do before then is set up pre-season. So let's do that. Arrange friendlies. So we're back on the 22nd of June. So we'll start on the 27th with an away friendly. Let's play all three of our affiliates away from home to start with. So Stalybridge on the Saturday. Let's go away to Curzon Ashton on the Tuesday. And then on the following Saturday, we'll go away to Ashton United. So we'll get those three. In fact, we'll do the rest as well. Then we're going to go and play some home friendlies against bigger teams. So Oldham. Let's play Burnley because they're quite local and it'll make us a few quid. So why not? Let's play Bradford for the same reason. In fact, Blackburn Rovers. Let's do Blackburn Rovers at home. And one more tough game. So we've got Burnley, Blackburn and Bolton. So we're going to play those three at home. Then we'll play a couple of home friendlies against lesser lights. So we'll play Nantwich Town at home. And we'll play let's play Oldham, so we'll play Warrington Rylands, why not? Make us a few quid anyway. And then we'll have one final friendly away to a nearby team. And we'll play Wythenshawe Town away. And that will conclude our pre-season. So, York and Barrow added to the National League from League 2. Blyth, Chester, Bath and Dover coming up from the Vanarama National North and South. And all of our friendlies have been accepted. So we've got a busy few weeks coming up with matches. 9 days until the first one. So I'll just race through those 9 days as quick as I can, so that we can get the meat and bones of pre-season underway. At the moment, we've barely scratched the surface, so we need to get motoring a bit now, and put together a team that's going to challenge at the right end of the league this season. So there will be 2 friendlies before we can start signing anyone, which will give us an idea of where the squad is at this moment in time, and then we can add what we need in terms of loans, etc. Okay. Right. So it's the 20th of June. 10 more days and we'll be at the end of the month, and then the real business will start, where there will be quite a turnover of players. We'll do it sensibly, because there are quite a few players here who are actually not too bad, so we don't need to be ridiculous about it and get rid of everyone. But we do need to make sure that we are in a position to at least make the playoffs. There's no way a side like Oldham should be languishing in non-league. So let's get ourselves in a position to get out of the league as quickly as we can, into League 2. And then we probably at that stage look to move on. I don't think Oldham are the sort of side we can drag up the divisions. I think once we get into League 2, that's probably where our journey with Oldham will end. Right. Code of conduct. I'm going to let my assistant manager sort it out and confirm. Let's meet the players. Let's just remind ourselves of the club vision. Usually if you agree with the club vision in the player meeting, you are absolutely fine. What do the supporters want? Supporters want a top half finish. The board haven't said. But top half finish would seem sensible. I wonder if we could get away with offering slightly more. I'm not going to say people may not have heard of me. I don't want to play myself down. Like to talk about our National League aims for the forthcoming campaign. Can make the playoffs, and they're happy with that. So we'll pump the fists, go with that, and support me in the code of conduct. They're happy. So pump fists again, and that's great. Nothing else. See you in pre-season, lads. Okay, so we've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4 player contracts coming to an end, 10 loans coming to an end. So lots of transfer business coming up in a week or so's time. as well as I say, the pre-season friendlies. So let's just continue. And get to that Stalybridge game. We're away from home in that one. And I want a performance and a result from that. I think we should be more than capable of beating a side like Stalybridge. I'm going to decline the meeting. We're in horrible form at the moment. So, loan players to return. None of them are good enough. Any of them interested? Any that are interested in extending them, we'll extend. Because we're not going to use any of these guys. They can all stay out on loan. And the ones that are not interested can basically leave the club. We don't have room for people who are not going to contribute, so we'll move them all on. That didn't work. Scarborough want to offer loan to Sam Davidson. Fine, do it. Peterborough want to extend Lincoln Green's loan. Likewise, have him. Curzon want to extend AJ Liversedge's loan. Again, no issue with that. Doherty's contract is set to expire. Now we can offer him a deal if he's interested. Star player. He certainly is. And we might get him this time. We have. So Greg Doherty, we stand a very good chance of landing. Michaela Whedon, these expire in a week, so we will we'll revisit these in a week and just check the ones that that we do want to have another crack at. So we'll do it on the day they're due to leave, and then we don't end up spending any money we don't have to. So we absolutely need to watch every penny at this level. In fact, I've just realised I've actually, rather than having to take my glasses off and do it like this, I have actually got some wipes I could be using. So I'll do that next time. I'll get them and put them where I can reach them. Okay, here we go then. Stature remains intact. Jesse Williams' contract. We're going to set him for release. Yep, absolutely. Season expectations. Avoid a relegation battle is the expectation from the board. Reach the first round of the FA Cup and the quarterfinals of the FA Trophy. Interesting. And we're currently over our wage budget just. We'll accept that. So Barnet versus Oldham has been rearranged. Don't know why, but it just has. And as I say, we've got 2 friendlies before we can start bringing in free transfer players. Do we want to play Gillingham? No, we don't. Do we want to play Chesterfield? No, we don't. And do we want to play Yeovil? No, we don't. We've got what we wanted. Oldham under 18s, the board insist. Jesse Williams has gone. And players have had wage rises. Green loan extension, so he's going back to Peterborough Sports for another year. That's fine, he can do that. And we are just a couple of days away now from the opening friendly and the start of some serious work on the squad. As I say, I'm going to do it progressively. I'm not going to look to bring in 6, 7, 8 players at a time. If we bring in one and let one go and then do the next one, should help to keep squad dynamics reasonably healthy. It's not fantastic now, so we certainly don't want it taking a hit. Right, Liversedge is staying out on loan, as is Davidson. So both of those can stay on their loans. And we are now ready for our opening friendly. Stalybridge Celtic away, the opponents. And hopefully we can start off with a win. So, as I say, I'm going to go through at least until the end of pre-season. And we'll review it at that point as to how much further we go. And I will make this available on the YouTube channel, as I say, from tomorrow. So if you were a viewer on YouTube and you want to carry on watching that way, you absolutely can do. It'll be the same time as always, 11 AM. But it'll be the previous day's Twitch. And the Twitch stream won't always necessarily be at 11 AM, as today's was a little late due to slight tech issues on my part. I will try and get as close to that as I can. But occasionally it'll be a little bit earlier. Occasionally it might be later than that. So it'll just be as and when I can with that one, as opposed to the regular Twitch save in the evenings, which does tend to be at a fixed time of 9 PM. So as always, keep your eyes on all the usual areas for information. So my Twitter, there's also Discord as well. So get yourselves in there if you're not already in there. And of course the stream page on Twitch itself. So all of those will have details of forthcoming streams. So Doherty's got a contract. And we are ready for Curzon Ashton, the second friendly, having won at Stalybridge. Can we do the same at Curzon Ashton? And then after that, it will be beginning to reshape the squad. So Akineto has got a work permit and a new contract. So Sam Byram has got a pay rise. That's slightly unfortunate in that it will further increase our exceeding of the wage budget. Lloyd James is on a coaching course. So I'm on a Continental C licence. I'm one of the least qualified at the club, so I probably ought to do one myself. In fact, I'm already doing one. I'm doing a Continental B. I forgot I've actually asked to do one, and the board said yes. So I'm currently studying for the Continental B, and after that I'll look for the A licence. Callum McIntyre has left Chester. Interesting. So Chester are in the National League. Let's have a look at the predicted league table as it stands at the moment before we make any signings. We're expected to finish 15th. I want to get us into the top 7. So that's what we're going to try and do. And we definitely need a load of signings to make that happen. But here we go. Curzon Ashton, away from home. And Odysseina's about to come in. So he'll come in on Wednesday, which is the day we can start signing players. And we have one at Curzon Ashton as well, 2-0. Doherty and Nuttall, the goal scorers. So Adam Green is a 13 physio. Ideally, we want to offer him a contract. Let's try $5.25 a week. $5.75, we'll take that. Claire Swindle, head physio. Very good head physio. You can stay. But not on $7.25. $700 you can have. And she wants that. Whedon. Michaela Whedon we were going to let go. So she can be released. We've missed out on the deal for Harry Vaughan. Havens is rubbish. So hopefully he's going to leave. In fact, he already has. Tristan Jones. Fitness training of 10. Let's have a look. So, Tristan Jones. I need to look at their attributes. Mental attributes. Physiotherapy. Claire is 14. Adam 13. So we really don't need Michaela, but we do need Adam. Who was I looking at? Tristan Jones, the fitness coach, is what I was supposed to be looking at. Tristan Jones. Andy Kawami is a much better coach. So Tristan Jones can be let go. So he'll be released. Daniel Coates, head performance analyst. He's not brilliant, is he? So Daniel Coates, I'm going to let you leave. We've released 5 players. Kurt Willoughby, Charlie Raglan. So Willoughby, Raglan. So Charlie Raglan potentially might have been somebody we look to hold on to, but that's okay. Matthew Hudson is a bit meh. Lytton Chapman is a sign only as a last resort, so that's fine. And Ollie Havens was the one we were just looking at, wasn't it? I think he's all the way down here somewhere. Ollie Havens, there he is. He's 13th best central midfielder at the club. So absolutely no reason to keep him around. These are all next season, so we can deal with them next season. Same with these. Youth contracts, they're all next season too. And the loan players are all ones. In fact, McCabe ought to be offered an extension, so we can trigger his extension clause. And also Joe Donahue hasn't got one, so we probably should negotiate a deal for him of 2 years. That's fine, but the others we'll let go. And we beat them 2-0, Curzon Ashton. So tomorrow we can start signing players, and I just need to do a quick stretch. And we're into July finally. So Odysseina should be coming in. So Whedon, Jones and Coates are all gone. Odysseina should join, and does. He's decent. So we'll get him in. And let's have a look at the squad now. Tyler Maguire. If they'll agree to a loan back for a year, end of season, and we'll make that non-negotiable, and they've said no. I didn't refuse it. They refused the negotiations. So I don't think that's my fault at this point. So in terms of transfers, Wade Smallwood might eventually be good enough, but isn't at the moment. And they're looking to loan him out, so that's fine. You can have him, as can anybody else who wants him on loan. So we'll confirm that, and then let's start looking at what we might be able to do. So once he's gone, has he actually left or not yet? No, not yet. So he still hasn't agreed the deal. As soon as he does, we can see what the impact on the budget is and make our moves accordingly. Okay. Right. So that should see that move completed, and we should now have an idea of what the current state of the squad is and what we might want to do with it. Not brilliant is my initial take. Smallwood, yeah, we're open to any offers for him. Ince, so Sam Ince is listed for loan, so we will accept any loan offer that comes in for him. Saves me dealing with it. And so here's the squad now. And right, Macaulay is the best option at the moment, but Brindley Smith is not good, so I'm going to get rid of him. So Matlock and Oxford City both want him. I'm prepared to let him go permanently, if I'm honest. And we'll look to bring in a goalkeeper. Ideally, a free loan. If we can do it. Welland, Bryant and Clark. Usual rules dictate it's Jacob Bryant that we're going to go for. But doesn't fill me with huge amounts of confidence. So I'm not. Josh Welland is at Reading. Played for Basingstoke in the Vanarama National League South and did not that great. So if I'm honest, I'm not inspired by any of those. And we've got minus £81 in the wage budget. So I'm going to wait until both Smallwood and Ince are gone and see if we can raise a bit more money. Smallwood was one of the players. Yeah, Wade Smallwood is one of the players being let go, so that's fine. And Lundstrom wants to discuss his options. That's fine. You can consider your options. Hopefully one of those is that you might stay here. And I'm going to say he's considering it, that's all I know. Okay. Cracking on then. We need those deals to go through so that we've got a little bit more spending power. We haven't got anything at the moment. Literally nothing. And I'm not finding anyone who's willing to loan us someone for nothing. I don't know if Manchester City might be interested in helping us out. We can try. Given that we are reasonably local to them. Let's give it a shot. See if City will help us out with one of their under 21 squad on loan. Let's try Jack Wint. See if we can get him. They want 600 quid a week. And we can't afford that. So that's not happening. Let's try Manchester United. The Welshman, Ellie Harrison, might be worth a go. They won't let him go. What about Newcastle? They don't even have a goalkeeper in their under-21s. So it might not be as easy as we thought to get a replacement in. But we're certainly going to have to try and improve what we've got. So next friendly, here we go then. It is Ashton United away. And this one we should be winning before we go on our run of tricky games to try and test ourselves against better opposition. See how we get on. And are we going to come away with a result against Ashton United? Don't know yet. Yep, 2-0. So really good performance and result. And things are beginning to look okay. So Doherty with both goals in the first 25 minutes. And so far, 3 2-0 wins in away games. And then we've got 3 tricky home games to come. But let's have a look at trying to bring in a goalkeeper to replace Brindley Smith. I don't want to bring in another loan if I can help it. So, free transfer goalkeepers. Felix Goddard, Neil Etheridge and Zach Geacock. Felix Goddard played for Woking. So he's definitely... in fact, he's played in the Vanarama National League South. Also played for Marine in the National League North. Was it in... Just check that it was in those leagues. Woking, he actually played in the National League. So... I think he's probably worth a go, Felix Goddard. Let's see what he wants. Let's see if we can get him. No, not even close. So we've basically got no money. Again. Let's try Neil Etheridge and see if they'll let us do a deal for him. They'll let us pay more for him, but still not enough. So that is a non-starter as well. Zach Geacock. Jesus. He's willing to consider it. So we're going to try it. And let's see if we can get him to sign. No, again, they'll only let us give him 450 quid a week. So, no chance. So at the moment, we are limited to just 3 loans. I don't really want 2 lone goalkeepers, that's the only thing. So I'm going to have to make do with what we've got, which means we need to get Brindley Smith off the transfer list immediately. Respond myself. And he's unavailable for loan as well. So right backs we're fine. We've got 3. Benji McCabe isn't great. How long's he been around? Is he one we could get rid of? How long have you been around, Benji? Been around a while. Was out on loan last year. Hasn't played for the club at all. So I think he should have no problem in being moved on. So we'll offer him out. See what we can get for him. Just in an effort to try and raise some cash, basically. Let's get Lawson to talk to him. People listen to you. Thanks for that, mate. Appreciate your help, Jonathan Lawson. Never mind. Josh Lundstrom. Never mind. Okay. So we go into the Burnley game without any more signings. Another departure, though, in the shape of Sam Ince. So he leaves. Not a player we're going to miss. Somebody that is very much on the fringes of the squad. And now we prepare for Burnley, who are looking at a 4-2-3-1 as well. So they are very much matching us up. Excuse me. Okay. So Burnley at home next, then Blackburn and Bolton. So those 3 are the really challenging games of pre-season. And if we can come out of this with any result at all in any of the games, that will be a massive plus. The one thing is we don't want to take 3 batterings. Won't matter if we take 1 in one of the first 2, but if we get battered 3 times, it's going to take some recovering. So hopefully Burnley go gentle on us. As we go to play them. I think we need to forget about the goalkeeping situation, move on to other areas of the pitch and try and fix those. because it is proving very, very tricky to sort that out. And I don't think we're going to be able to. So, Burnley, are they going to be kind to us, or are they going to go and absolutely hammer us? Time to find out. We lose 2-1. We'll take that all day long. So a 2-1 defeat. That's absolutely fine in a game of that magnitude. You're not wrong, actually, Lenzar. I thought that as well when I saw it. I wondered if it was. And then I checked the Burnley website, and it is actually exactly the right one. Okay. But yeah, you're 100% correct. It does very much look like a generic badge. It looks like the sort of one that appears as the placeholder for the likes of West Ham, doesn't it? So Lundstrom wants to talk to me. I'll decline that. He wants a more ambitious club. Well, we're ambitious. I'm looking to go up here, and I need him to help me. Smallwood is off to Altrincham. Off you go, son. So that's another 150 quid in the wage budget. In fact, it's not. It's 130. And that means we've now got 187 available. Tyler Maguire. I really don't have any intention of letting him go. I don't think. So Byram, Sharon. Okay, Tyler Maguire is a centre-back. And we're not overstocked at centre-back, so I think I'm right to dig my heels in on that one. And very helpful, Lenzar. I think he might be slightly out of our budget. I mean, let's just see how much he is actually on at the moment. What's he on a week? He's only on 17.5 grand a week. Which is... what, about a third, just less than a third of our wage budget. He's got enough money, but that's not going to make him accept an offer from us. Not yet, anyway. Right. So the squad are unhappy and think I should let Lundstrom leave. I don't want to let him leave. And let's leave it there. So we're going to walk away from that particular meeting. And let's go and see how we get on against Blackburn. Can we get a result? Again, if we can suffer a narrow defeat, we'll take that. Anything better than that is a massive bonus. So, result for Blackburn Rovers at home is on the way. And then it's Bolton after that, and then we're back into winnable games. So hopefully not too much damage done with these three. But the result for Blackburn is taking a while to come through. So let's try again and see if we can speed the process up. And we've managed to get a 0-0. So we'll take that all day long. Player of the match was our goalkeeper, Jonathan McCauley. Okay, so Bolton up next. Another home game. And another one that we want to avoid a heavy defeat in. No more ambition than that at this stage. And then if we can build on this pre-season, that will be amazing. Right, Lundstrom wants to leave on a free. That's absolutely fine. So you can go at the end of the season. Presumably if we've gone up promoted, he won't want to leave. Maguire, they're offering £7,000. I want 26. Oops. 26 grand. Remove. And they've withdrawn the offer. Offer was not good enough, I'm afraid. Fine. I'll talk to him, tell him the offer wasn't good enough. Not going to let you go less than you're worth. Fair enough. So you can leave at the end of the season as well, and that keeps him happy for now. We'll keep the pitch as it is. He's considering it, that's all I can say. Okay, moving on. There's no point even looking at any of these because we literally have no money at the minute. So we can only go after like Daniel Ephraim. You are a youth teamer and not good enough. So we'll accept any offers for you. And that's fine. Players coming in, there are none. So I guess at this point we need to try and bring in something that we need. So we've got one left winger. We need a left winger and we need a striker urgently. So those are the two urgent positions. On loan, Matt Kent, Amika Peters, Frankie Coulson. Matt Kent is on by far the most money, so he seems to be the sensible option. So we'll offer to loan him. and they want his wages paid. We can get close. But not quite close enough. And they really aren't willing to budge, are they? Can we do it? No, they're just not willing to move. So Kent isn't going to happen. Let's try Frankie Coulson then. Middlesbrough winger. Hasn't played for the first team yet. But we might as well have a look at him. On loan. We can afford his wages, no problem at all. And we'll agree to that, that's fine. Now we just need a striker. On loan. Stephen Wills. Cameron Hawkins, Uko Oji. Apparently Cameron Hawkins is the best bet. I'm not convinced on that score. Stephen Wills. He's done nothing. Right. Let's try Manchester City again for an under 18 striker. Let's try Alan Hurd. Can we get him? They're not willing to let him leave anyway. So Alan Hurd is a no. Who else? Matt Broad. Too young for a loan. He's only 15. So can't do that one. And then we've got Rafael Sviacek. Make an offer. On loan. They're not willing to let him leave. So we'll go to Manchester United and do the same. Let's sort by position. So it's Liam Wood and Juan Pablo Parisi. Liam Wood isn't able to leave on loan. Parisi is too young as well. So I think we're being completely thwarted in terms of what we're able to do here. Let's try again. Uko Oji. Doesn't fill me with delight. So I think we might as well stick with what we've got. Okay. So I think the squad is going to end up being exactly as it is now. And we're going to go into the season with this team. So it's not the outcome that any of us wanted, but it's kind of becoming inevitable given our financial situation. Unless there is anybody else we can go after. Let me just see if I can find the name of that guy who scored all the goals for us at Truro. Okay. Right. Who was my Truro striker? Let me see if I can remember who it was. Not off the top of my head. Okay. No, can't remember who it was. Never mind. So, let me put the chat back up, and it was somebody we signed, but I can't remember where we got him from. Or indeed what his name was. I think they will have dropped out of the leagues on this save. They have. Right. Yeah, it's none of the ones who were in there. Not that it was this save anyway, but never mind. Can't remember the guy's name. I'm going to try and find it though. What about my Oxford side? Who scored loads of goals at Oxford? Rennie Smith and Lewis Coyle scored quite a few. So okay. Right. So, Scunthorpe. Let's go back and have a look at them. We had Nathan Delfonso. He was scoring loads of goals, but there's no way that's not going to happen. Michael Reindorf. Is he still around? Let's have a look at Reindorf. Michael Reindorf is at Wrexham. So there is no chance. He's only 21. Right. Let me just have a look. We really do need an upgrade up front. That's our biggest area of weakness. My history, job history. Truro. This is how I'm going to find it. Transfers and history. So let's go back to the very first season. Who was my striker that I signed? Or was it in the second season? Let me see. Nope, don't recognise any of those names. When did I get the boot? I only lasted until June 2024, so most of those were not me. In fact, none of those were me. So it would be on this page. Edward Strajewski was a midfielder. Freddie Cook, defender. Kyril Wilson, winger. Ben Hughes was a goalkeeper. Josh Leslie Smith. He's not the one, I don't think. No, he's not. He didn't score at all. So, Cian Pritchard, no. Liversedge, no. He's a right back. Thompson, another right back. Keem Sarrell is a goalkeeper. Brandon Purcell, defender. Should know that. Bobby Bennett. Was he the man? No, he only scored once. Lewis Brooks is retired at the age of 22. Don't think it was Lewis Brooks though. And Aidan Hearn is a winger. So, mystery to me, to be honest, who that was. Maybe it wasn't a Truro City player after all that I was trying to sign. Maybe it was an Oxford player. Transfer history. Current season. Let's see if I can recognise any of the names in any of the years. Osler, Lavin, Boyd, Bradley, Davis, DeGruchy, Ono, Berry, Fenton, Lafleur, Cook, Darlington. That was the fella, Lewis Darlington. And he's still at Oxford. How's he done with them? He's only had the one season. Did really well in the Vanarama National North. Wants 425 quid a week. We can't even sign him. So I think we are going to have to give up because we literally cannot negotiate with anyone. So as it stands, there is literally nothing I can do. And we just need to work with what we have, I think. So here we go then, Bolton Wanderers. Unless, of course, something lands in our lap. What I could do is let my director of football negotiate transfers, but give me the final say, and then he might find someone. So we could do that. Initiating player signings, we'll delegate. Negotiate, we will delegate. And then finalising, I will do. Initiating sales, I'll do all of that. Negotiating and finalising, we'll let that go. And I'll keep hold of contracts. Okay. So let's see if he can come up with anything. Now that I've taken the handbrake off my director of football, can he come up with something? Ellison. Sam Ellison. Yeah, you can go. He's in the reserves, so off you go, son. And we move on. Okay. So approaching the middle of July and the final difficult friendly against Bolton Wanderers. We haven't managed to make the changes to the squad I'd hoped to do. How did we get on against Bolton though? Oldham against Bolton. Oldham 0, Bolton 0. So in those 3 friendlies we lost to Burnley and drew with Blackburn and Bolton. I think we have to say that's a successful 3-game money spinning set of friendlies. We didn't lose to 2 of them. So we'll take that and pocket the cash. And maybe we should look at whether there are any sellable clauses to raise some money. We really do need some dosh from somewhere. No, there's nothing available. Is my chairman looking to sell the club? Are we in the process of potentially losing him? Club info. This is the one I can never find. General tab, I think. Loves the club, so he's going nowhere. And we are up against it at the moment in terms of expectation. Nantwich Town, team we should be beating. See if we can. The one blessing, I suppose, is that there isn't a transfer window. Haji Minoga is out for 7 months. So we've lost him for most of the season. That's a worry. So my director of football needs to step up and find somebody quite quickly. I was looking for a striker. Now we need a centre half as well. I don't want to go in with only 3. A loan approach for Ellison. Yeah, he can go. That's fine. And it's been accepted. Squad numbers. Here we go. Clear the numbers out. So number 1, Macaulay. Number 2, Sam Byram. Number 3, Doro. He isn't very good, but he is the only left back we've got. In fact, no, it's Benny Couto is the number 3. Number 4 is a defensive midfielder. So is that going to be George Abbott? Yes, it is. 5 and 6 are going to be Odusina and Minoga. possibly. Although Odysseina, possibly Aidan Flint even. No, he's 37. So Minoga and Odysseina are going to be 5 and 6. 7 is going to be our right winger, which at the moment is Jude Arthurs. 8 is a midfield role, so that's going to be Joe White. 9 is going to be which of our strikers? Probably Jonathan Lawson. 10 is going to be another midfielder. So that's going to be Greg Doherty. Number 11 is going to be a left winger, which probably Harry Evers. So 11, Harry Evers. 12 is going to be our right back. So that's going to be Nathan Sherron. 13, the goalkeeper. In fact, number 12 is empty. So 13 is the goalkeeper. 14 can be Sherron. 15 is going to be Aidan Flint. 16 is going to be Tyler Maguire. And then 17 can be Donahue. 18 McCabe. 19 Dorrow. 20 Saville. I'm literally just working my way down the list now. And there we go. Right. That's it. So we want as close to 1 to 11 on the pitch as possible at all times. Top goal scorer. So Oakley Cannonier is the favourite. What sort of contract is he on? £250,000 and he's on 800 quid a week. We can't even get close to that. But what we can do is have a look at the season preview. Can we afford... Are there any of the players on part-time contracts? Dylan Stevenson. No. Probably not at this level. Not in the National League. So we'll just move on and forget about signing a striker. We'll just see what my director of football comes up with instead. And let's get the Nantwich and Warrington Rylands games done. And then I think Withenshaw is either the last game or the next to last game of pre-season. So we will continue for a little while longer. And see if we can get ourselves into good shape. Okay, so an easy win there. 5-0 against Nantwich. Jonathan Lawson with 4 of them. And he's our number 9, so that is encouraging. That he obviously likes playing in this system. He's getting goals. So maybe Jonathan Lawson is the answer after all. So I will try to sign more players as we get into the season. Looks like we might have signed someone. So Max Lott, that's been rejected. Frankie Coulson is a winger, so we'll get him in. Daniel Ephraim's off, so that's fine, he can leave. Coulson 2.5 stars and 5-star potential. So Byram, do your stuff, welcome him in. And Frankie Coulson, only 19 as well. So fits in with the profile of players I like to bring in. And we've lost Odesina to injury now as well, which isn't ideal. Faruqi, Nozomi Faruqi. Now, if there's a recall clause in that, I'll let him go. Can be recalled. Yes, there is. So we'll accept the offer, but not just automatically accept all offers. Because if I need him, I want to be able to bring him back. Warrington Rylands, our next opponents. We're the home side again, so again it's another win. Lawson scores again, as does Byram, and Huff with the consolation for Warrington Rylands. And we come away with another win. So an offer made for Matthew Goulding, centre back from Reading. Okay, he looks good, so I'm not going to block that one. So Coulson is a winger. Which side does he play on though? Left, okay. Delighted. Quality player. Fits us like a glove. He'll find his place. Great player. Help us immediately. Great respect. And there we go. They didn't even ask us what position we want to use him in. Never mind. We move on. So Coulson is in. Bonuses will leave as they are. And it's Wythenshawe Town up next. And I think what I'll do, I will get us up to the eve of the season and then start, because I've got around about half an hour left of time that I've got available, and it would be quite nice to be able to raid someone. So we will do this game, but I won't do the opening league game. So Sam Ellison is off. Okay. So it looks like we've got a defender in, but we really did need a striker. So I was hoping my director of football is going to come up trumps with that. He hasn't yet, But bear in mind there is no transfer window, so he could still be looking for one. And he might throw one at me soon. So Faruqi is on his way out. There is a loan recall clause in there, so we can get him back if we want to. If we need him, we'll bring him back. And if he starts scoring goals, he will get brought back. He might as well be scoring them for us as scoring them for somebody else. So here we go then, Wythenshawe Town. And this is the final pre-season friendly. And then I'll just scroll through the next few days and we'll come back on the next stream for the opening game against Halifax. So that will be tomorrow morning. So this save will be streamed in the mornings. The other one will be streamed at the same time as usual at 9 PM. So just to avoid any sort of confusion, I'll keep the two completely separate. So this one will be in the morning and the other one will be in the evening. Some days there will be both, because obviously this one is going to be pretty much every day. Won't happen on a Monday, more than likely. But pretty much all the other days of the week, not the weekend, but the week, it will happen. And as promised, I will put the stream on the YouTube channel the next day. Right, we need to select a captain. So I thought I'd already done this. So Aidan Flint is currently the captain. So let's do Greg Doherty instead. And George Saville is absolutely fine. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to chicken out and put Aidan Flint back in, and Greg Doherty can be vice captain. So we'll confirm that. So Aidan Flint remains for now anyway. And now he's injured. Lovely. So not ideal, but never mind. We can cope. He wasn't set to be a first team regular anyway, so it just gives us slightly less depth, which hopefully won't be too big a handicap. And let's go. Okay. So just one more day, and then, in fact, I'll go through to the Saturday, and then we will find somebody to raid into. I'm not going to do the conference. So Goulding is off on his loan. In fact, no, he's Matthew Goulding hasn't joined us. He's joined Gateshead. Apologies. Send the assistant to do that one. And let's get through to Saturday. We've lost Lot again for a significant period of time this time. So we've got a few injuries going into the Halifax game. And there we go. It is Saturday. So I will save it there so that we can come back ready for the first game of the season. And let's go find somebody to go and raid. We've got 4 people in. He's doing a network save. Let's go and see the delinquent. Why not? So I will set that raid up. Guys, please do join the raid. Remember to drop a follow on him. And see you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.